Ladies and gentlemen, who did the Baltimore Ravens go out and get now? What are my thoughts on this year's Pro Bowl? How many NFL records could potentially be broken this week? Which former coach is possibly returning next year? Find out all that plus much more in today's video, which is just going to be me talking about random things going on in or around the NFL. Couple of plugs before we start today's video. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. Also, remember that code Wyatt10 will save you a discount on any Waggle merch. Link is in the description. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's get into talking about stuff going on in the NFL. Alright, so first off, congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens on welcoming Delvin Cook to their roster. For those who haven't heard, Delvin and the Jets mutually agreed to part ways, I think, on January 2nd, where then it would only take 2 days for him to sign with a new team, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, it's a cool move. I could see him maybe catching a touchdown or running one in, but the people who are gassing him up like he's all of a sudden just like 2020 Delvin Cook again, what are you doing? This is going to be just like Le'Veon Bell on the Ravens. Not a bad thing either. I think he scored a couple times, like I just said, but he's not gonna be a huge game-changing factor. However, that was interesting news, and I guess good for Delvin on getting out of the Jets and into a team that's probably gonna go to the Super Bowl. All right, next up, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the Pro Bowl. Some of you might already know my thoughts, but for those who don't, my thoughts are, who gives a shit? Really, like, who gives a shit? It's the same thing every single year at this point. It's like the NFL 100. It's a huge popularity contest. Like, people are fighting with each other. They're fighting with the NFL Twitter account, screaming at them, demanding that things are changed, pleading their cases with stats, with videos, with records, when in reality, you're just wasting energy. I'm not saying you're wrong. You guys are right. You're right to be pissed off that Buda Baker made it in the Pro Bowl over Antoine Winfield Jr. Bills fans are right to question how the guy leading the league in touchdowns once again got snubbed. Lion fans, I don't even know what to begin to tell you on how neither St. Brown or your running backs made it as starters. And that's why I don't give energy into it. And I don't think you should either, because like I said, it's not about who is the best. It's about who is the most popular. All right, next up, we are going to be taking a look at the NFL playoff bracket heading into Week 18 and every team's chances to make the playoffs heading into Week 18. So the current playoffs look like this. Out of the AFC, we've got the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, and the Browns. They are locked in. And then the wild card is the Jags, Bills, and Colts. Looking over at the NFC now for locked teams, we've got the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Rams. And then their wild card, which is only 2 teams at this point, is the Buccaneers and the Packers. But the teams in the hunt are not promised to get in, and now is the part where we're gonna go look at the playoff chances for the teams in the hunt or on the bubble to get into the hunt. So here we are on the New York Times website of all places, and they actually have this beautiful graph set up for us. So starting at the tip top with the AFC, looking at this percentage-wise, the Dolphins are 100% in. The Bills have a 95% chance, even though it doesn't feel like it, while the Jets and the Patriots are out. Then looking at the AFC North, the Ravens and the Browns are 100% in. Steelers only have a 28% chance to make the playoffs, and then sadly, the Bengals are also out. Now it's gonna get a little bit hairy. We look at the AFC South, where nobody's guaranteed, and the percentages lay out like this. Jacksonville is only 77, Indy is 59, Houston is 41, and then the Titans are eliminated. I'm not even gonna try and act like I know how this would need to play out for these teams to make it over the others. Honestly, this is so confusing. And then ending the AFC, as we know, the Chiefs made it, and nobody else in that division can. So now looking at the NFC, starting with the NFC East, the Cowboys and the Eagles are 100% in, while the Giants and Commanders are 100% out. Then we go to the North, where the Lions are in, and then the Packers only have a 68% chance to make it. The Vikings only have a 3% chance to make it, all while the Red Hot Bears are unfortunately eliminated. Then we move on to the NFC South, which is also a mess just like the AFC South, where no teams are sworn in, and the Bucks only have a 56% chance, the Saints have a 35% chance, the Falcons have a 17% chance, and the Panthers, well, they've been eliminated since Week 8. And that'll leave us with the last division, which is the NFC West, where we know the 49ers and Rams are locked, the Seahawks only have a 21% chance, and the Cardinals, as we know, are also eliminated. Anybody stressed out seeing that? Because I am, and my team has a 95% chance to make it, apparently. Seriously, anybody in the race right now, good luck. Okay, next up, let's take a peek at every NFL record that could potentially be broken going into week 18. All right, so the website I'm on now is CBS Sports, and here is every record with a quick explanation as to what would need to go down for it to fall. So first off, we got Brock Purdy. He can break the NFL record for yards per attempt in a season as he's averaging 9.6 per attempt through 16 games. Matt Ryan holds the record at 9.3, so basically Purdy's just got to keep it up. Actually, I don't even know if he's playing. He might already have broken it then if he's not playing. Next up, we got CJ Stroud. It says Stroud is 530 yards away from breaking the NFL passing yards record for a rookie in a season. Stroud did miss 2 games, but is still at 3,844 passing yards. Then goes on to highlight by saying Luck has the record, but Stroud is averaging actually a yard more per game than Luck did. Wow, does it fucking suck that CJ got hurt. Easily would have broken it. Up next, we got Tyreek. He is 248 yards away from setting a record held by Kelvin Johnson with 1,964 yards in 2012. Tyreek Hill is also the first receiver ever to have 2 1,700-yard seasons. Here we got one for Puka. It says he is on the verge of setting the NFL rookie record for catches and yards in a season. Jalen Waddle holds the record for catches with 104, while Bill Groman holds the records for yards with 1,473. Puka is right now at 101 catches and 1,445 yards. Oh, he is gonna break them both. That is great. And then we also got one for Brandon Aubrey here. He is 3 field goals shy of setting an NFL record for most field goals made without a miss. Mike Vanderyacht was 37 of 37 in 02. Aubrey is 35 of 35 this year. So that's a look at all the NFL records that might fall this week. There is an enormous list of individual player records, but I'm not gonna go over that right now. However, good luck to everybody that's this close, because I can't imagine what it would be like to get that close and then have the season end. All right, now we're gonna be taking a look into the downfall of Sam Howell. What the fuck happened to this guy? Like, this needs to be studied. At one point, this guy was leading the league in passing and could dice up any defense thrown at him. Now he's sitting at 3,793 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. What baffles me more about this is if you go look at his game logs, it all started after Seattle, which is weird because he played terrific there. 109 passer rating, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. But then the next game, he goes to the Giants, throws 256, 1 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Then he goes to Dallas, where he throws for 300 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Miami, 127 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. The Rams, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. The Jets, where he had 6 completions out of 22 attempts, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating of 1.7. And then the most recent week versus the 49ers, where he completed 60% of his throws for a touchdown and 2 picks. Like, Seattle broke this man. Like, why? Like, this guy went from a sure shit, I thought he was gonna be a starter next season, to I really don't know. I want to know what happened. Did he have a bad dream? Like, what the fuck? And now we're on to the last piece of NFL news. Who is the former coach who is potentially going to return to the league next season? Well, according to Sports Illustrated, none other than Mike Zimmer. Apparently they went out to his ranch on December 27th and interviewed him, and he said he has been busy watching tape and studying analytics. He even says he built a little office building on his ranch to go over, watch tape, and just stay on top of the game. And even though Zimmer did not mention the Vikings in this little 6-minute interview, he did mention his desire to get back into coaching. His words: "I just think it's something that's in your blood. My dad was a high school coach for a long time. I love being around the players. I love the challenge of trying to make an organization better." And there you guys have it. Do you think we're gonna see Mike Zimmer back in the league in 2024 as a head coach? Personally, I think so. I thought he was gonna come back last year already. I think he should go to the Panthers. Should have went there before Frank Reich. Mike Zimmer's not a bad coach. He's a good coach with awful tendencies. You don't have a 72-46 record if you're a bad coach. That doesn't make sense. He knows his shit. He knows defense, and I think he could bring a lot to the Panthers or a team if he went there. I personally think it would be actually really nice to see him come back. Just stay away from my teams. All right, now ending this video with something a little bit more fun and not sports related, I'm gonna be giving you guys my top 5 cartoons of all time, because I'm sick and tired of surfing through the channels nowadays and seeing the bullshit that they call cartoons. Those aren't cartoons. The stuff on TV now is so censored, dry, boring. Everyone's scared of making cartoons that might make a joke that might offend somebody, that might get them canceled. Everything is just extremely kiddie and friendly and just gross. So here are 5 real cartoons, and they also happen to be my 5 favorite cartoons that I watched growing up as a kid. So starting off with cartoon number 5, give me the late 90s, early 2000s Rugrats. Dude, the show was great. It was about a group of babies who could talk and communicate, and they lived through their imaginations, essentially. They were playing in the sandbox, and they imagined a pyramid. Okay, well, that whole episode, they were running around through a pyramid. If the episode was about their basement, they'd be going down there and hunting down the dust bunny and a bunch of other monsters. Whatever the kids imagined, you know, they would basically animate, but it was great because this was in a time period where producers weren't scared to have a little fun. They weren't scared to make a Western episode of babies holding toy pistols. They weren't scared to have an episode of babies racing fast in cars. They weren't scared to throw some monsters in episodes. They weren't scared to make some jokes. It was just like every episode was this whole new adventure that you needed to sit down and just soak in every second of. I truly do miss it. Next up, give me Rocket Power, another late 90s, early 2000s Nickelodeon classic. This was about a group of kids who were just fucking elite at everything. Baseball, football, hockey, golf, tennis, surfing, skateboarding, sledding, snowboarding, whatever, they were fucking gods at it. But that's also what made every episode awesome, because every episode was something different, man. They would be in a competition for skateboarding or chasing Tony Hawk through his skateboarding factory. They'd be doing a big downhill go-kart race. Like, it was just something different, something sporty, but something really entertaining, and it was one of, if not the greatest cartoons of all time. Up next, we have the original ScoobyDoo, Where Are You? Not a pup named ScoobyDoo, not any of that new shit. The OG. I mean, I don't think I need to explain what ScoobyDoo is, but it's a group of friends who have a talking dog and they hunt down monsters and solve crimes every single episode. But every episode was fun because it was in a new setting and it kind of had a theme as to what the monster was. If it was a Yeti, they were in the snow. If it was a mummy, they were in like a museum. There was one where they were in a theme park chasing this like weird robot down. Out at sea on a big ship with the ghost of Captain Cutler, you know what I mean? Every episode, it was just something different, something unique, something fun, and it's what made it so great. ScoobyDoo will always be a legend. Number 2, give me Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Oh, fuck, this was a stupid cartoon, but it was one of my favorites ever. Every episode was about a group of 3 stupid-ass friends who would just try and come up with schemes to get money to buy jawbreakers. That was the entire premise of the show. Every episode, but it was great. One episode, they would open up a restaurant in their house and try to make money. One episode, they would go door to door and try to be a salesman. One episode, they'd be wrestling other kids to see if they could beat them and earn money. And this show also had a lot of animated violence in it too. Like, it was just always full of really unpredictable bullshit. Iconic cartoon that definitely wouldn't fly on today's television. And ending, you've probably guessed it, the greatest cartoon of all time is OG SpongeBob. Do not tell me today's is just as good. No, today's SpongeBob sucks ass. As a matter of fact, they have gone back into old episodes to make them more appropriate so they can air them for today. As an adult, 27 years old, if I go watch old SpongeBob, I will still laugh my fucking ass off. That show was violent, it was witty, it was quirky. And it's honestly no shock that they're still making it today, just completely watered down from what it once was. And I don't need to explain it. Everybody knows what SpongeBob is. But it's just a damn shame that it will never return to what it once was. And that is gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen, for my favorite cartoons and for the entire video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do to show support. And with everything I just said, I'm gonna hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a safe and great weekend. Enjoy football. And as always, I will see you in the next video.